Welcome to your election headquarters. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, and on your digital TV. Now, former Asokwa NPP constituency youth organizer has officially joined the list of members who have filed their nominations to contest as independent parliamentary candidates in this year's elections. Eric Osei has defied calls by the Regional Council of Elders of the party to rescind his decision. Now, he says his decision is fueled by constituents. Mr. Osei, who says his filing fee was paid by residents of Asokwa, believes his candidature will rather benefit the NPP because Asokwa is fed up with the current MP, Patricia Appiagyei. Prince Appiah has more.
The parliamentary contest in the Asokwa constituency is getting heated as incumbent member of parliament faces a fierce contest by her own youth organizer. Despite efforts by NPP Council of Elders to get Eric Osei back down, he has proceeded to file his nomination. It comes on the wheels of an admonition by President Akufo-Addo last week for voters to reject members who have gone solo.
The people of Asokwa need change.
Eric Osei, however, says going independent will inure to the president's fortunes and that of the NPP.
My contesting Asokwa seat will help the president himself, because if the constituent has to look at the work of the MP to vote for the president, I can tell the president will not even get 10% of the votes. Yes, because the man is not performing at all. So I've come, I'm the immediate past organizer for the party. I'm campaigning for Nanado, as the woman also doing. So definitely the presidential was going to maximize. That's why I said going to help the party. Because if I did not contest this seat, people will not even come out to vote.
He accuses the incumbent MP of incompetence and poor performance. He describes the president's call on voters to reject independent candidates as unfortunate, but says he will align with the NPP if he gets to parliament.
I've gone to the masses and looking at, the response that I've received, I'm very optimistic. I'm very confident I can get 75% of the votes. In parliament, we have the minority and majority side. Definitely, when I get the opportunity, I will align myself to that of the NPP. So they are saying that the party will not take you back. But I know, definitely, when I win, they will call me back to the party.
Some constituents who accompanied him to the EC's office spoke to Love News.
In the Bible, the second view, I told you to drivers, a young former, and so for many Yajiska, and the boy say, boy, your friend, and I never on a boilik, and I found for sending me a pie day, and one more to me a boasca mine. Who said, was able to a boasca mine? It didn't do a say.
Meanwhile, the MP, Patricia Appiagyei, who filed his nominations on Wednesday, is promising to continue development in a constituency when re-elected.
That I'm prepared for the battle because I know my party has performed creditably. I've also performed creditably, and I believe the people of Asokwa are going to give me their optimum support. The one that my president called boom, boom, boom votes. In my third term bid, more development, and I'm also looking at ensuring that the education sector is also well managed.
Prince Appiah reporting.
So this youth organizer is not the only one going independent. Member of Parliament for Fomena in the Ashanti region, Andrew Amankwa-Esiama, has also filed his nomination to contest or to seek re-election on the ticket of an independent candidate. I'm joined by Dr. Ali Duseidu. He's a political scientist to have a conversation about this. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. The president has asked voters to reject people in his party who want to be MPs going on independent tickets. As a political scientist, what's your reaction to that call?
Okay, thank you so much. I think the people are the ultimate deciders of who should lead them in parliament. They have the ultimate right to decide. And the people usually will look at your ability to address their needs and then their challenges as a member of parliament. But being a sitting president and a party in government, some people will take the president's statement seriously and may not vote for independent candidates. But others will also will disregard the president's directive and go ahead to vote for an independent candidate. What we need to understand is the reason why people will want to go independent, especially in the NPP. I think this particular year, the NPP decided to protect over 60 or close to 65 candidates to go independent. A lot of people who had aspirations to also contest and represent their people in those particular constituencies were democratically denied that particular right. In some other instances, they believe the processes were held, but they believe it was not democratically done. Some candidates were disqualified without any genuine reason. There were an open bias against specific candidates that wanted to contest, and they actually lost their primaries. And the internal conflict resolution mechanism that was supposed to address these grievances, people believe was not fair and just enough. It actually supported people who had the support of the party hierarchy, and those who didn't have the support of the party hierarchy were not given a fair hearing. So in the throes of all this, people decide that I have the capacity and the people are voting for me. I am going to contest as an independent candidate. Moving forward, Bernice, what is the implication? Compared to the presidential election, we have a threshold, 50+1. The parliamentary election is first past the post. You can be an MP with just 2 votes or a vote difference. So it is very critical, especially when you have somebody from your party going independent. There will still be people who support him. People like that have followers. What they may end up doing, even if they will not win the elections for the seat for the party, is that they will divide the vote that the party will have received in a specific constituency. So when you have a strong challenger, maybe from the NDC or any other political party, they are able to win the elections with just maybe smaller number of votes. And if you also look at what happened in 2016, most of these MPs won the seats with just narrow votes. So if they won maybe with less than 1,000 or 2,000 vote margin, then you have an independent candidate coming from their rank. It means that they are going to divide the vote, and the closest opposition party to the NPP is likely going to win that seat. So I believe rather than just issuing a statement that the people should disregard these particular candidates, I think the party can still make a lot of amends and see how they can close their rank and compensate these people in a way so that they can all rally behind one candidate. But the call alone wouldn't be enough.
Doc, so how do they handle the issue? I was just coming to that because the president has also said that it's a sign of disrespect to him as leader of the party going into the elections that people will decide to contest as independent candidates. We've also had situations like the Asokwa where the Council of Elders actually tried to intervene and it didn't work. So how should the party go about this, seeing that it's likely to have an impact on them in terms of representation in Parliament?
So I think the party should listen to them. In most of these cases, when this has happened in Ghanaian politics, the party always issue a directive and say people who are contesting for independent candidates step down, or people who are contesting for as independent candidates are no longer part of the party. They have been sacked from the party, or people should not vote for them. I think people in a democracy have the right to express their view, contrary to what power holders or duty bearers in the party want them to do. And the good thing is that voting is a secret ballot. You wouldn't follow.
We seem to have
who they are going to vote for at the end of the day. What I do believe is that it is still not too late for the party to sit them down. They set up a dispute resolution committee. They can meet these people, listen to them, and find a way to compensate them moving forward. Maybe assure them with a position or do something that will make them step down. But if they do not step down and they are allowed to contest just because the president said they shouldn't contest, then most of the people who like them will vote for them. And that would be the vote that will have added to the NDC, the NPP's main candidate, to have made him an MP. And that has the tendency, especially in the keenly contested constituencies, to throw the victory on the side of either the NDC or any other political party, and then the NPP is going to lose. And you cannot govern successfully in this country without having a parliamentary majority. It will be very difficult.
So, Doc, what does this situation tell about the party's handling of internal grievances? Like you mentioned earlier, in some of the constituencies, the persons who are going independent were prevented from filing their nominations. They had concerns about the manner in which that was done, and they feel that that was not dealt with to their satisfaction. What does this say about how the NPP handles internal matters and wranglings?
So internal party democracy is one of the biggest steps to achieving national democratic consolidation. So we need to pay so much attention to internal party democracy. What happens is that, you see, it is more about the processes, the processes of filing, the processes of voting, the processes of disqualifying or not disqualifying, or acclaiming or disqualifying. If you disqualify somebody, on what grounds are you disqualifying those candidates? In most cases, some of them were disqualified without giving them any sincere, convincing, genuine reason why they were disqualified. In other instances, the regional executives and some national executives were openly biased against some candidates and were seriously and openly rooting for other candidates. If you begin to do this, then I see that the processes are not fair. And once I believe that I have a lot of following at the constituency, and I'm going to present the constituency, people can go to parliament without contesting on the ticket of a party. The constitution allows that. So they will come out. What might happen is that they are either going to win the seat and decide who they align themselves with when they go to parliament, or they will lose the seat and pull the incumbent candidate down because they will end up splitting the vote. And that will not augur well for parliamentary majority of the party should they win in this year's election.
Finally,
once you win and the NDC controls parliament or the vice versa, it is going to be a very difficult position for a government in such a situation.
Finally, Doc, shouldn't this be a good sign in terms of looking at our capacity to handle this as a democracy? Shouldn't it be a good sign that people can leave a party, contest as independent candidates, and actually come back? Shouldn't we be playing this in the positive sense instead of the negative?
It is one of the character of political parties. Membership to political parties are not compulsory. People may decide to be a member of a political party at a specific point in time and may decide to leave a political party at any point in time. So one of the character of political parties, unlike maybe a mafia group or any other cult or cultist group, is the fact that you can leave and come in as and when you please, as long as the party is willing to accept you. So when we begin to read this and teach this in universities and then they begin to manifest practically, then there are good signs that our democracy is maturing. People can actually not defy, but can do what they want to do as an independent people within or being a member or not a member of a political party. So in that light, it is good. We are actually implementing what the theory says about being a member of a political party. It's just that in most cases, people are victimized when they exercise their individual right to belong or not belong to a political party. But once we begin to put aside the victimization, I think things will go in the way that we want our democracy to go. And people will desire to exercise their right to join or leave a political party without fear or favor of intimidation.
I appreciate your time this morning. Dr. Alidu Seidu is a political scientist, and we've been talking about some members of the NPP defying calls for them not to contest as independent parliamentary candidates. And we know that in the Ashanti region, which is a stronghold of the NPP, we have at least 9 people in that party who are contesting as independent candidates.